Have you ever bought something and, for a moment, felt richer than you are? That brief lift, the new phone, the nicer car, the upgraded apartment, feels like progress. But what if that feeling is the exact question you should be asking before you hand over your card? Imagine Elena. She's 29, lives in a mid-sized European city, and earns 3,500 euros after tax each month. She rents a modest one-bedroom for 900 euros, has a student loan payment of 150 euros, and recently took out a car loan for 320 euros a month because her old hatchback finally stopped being reliable. She has one credit card that she usually pays off, but sometimes carries a balance of 800 euros, and she gives in to social pressure at times: dinners out, trips with friends, the occasional designer item when a promotion comes through. Now, let's convert that into a simple run-through of her monthly money picture. Take-home pay, 3,500 euros, rent, 900 euros, car loan, 320 euros, student loan, 150 euros, utilities, groceries, transport, insurance, let's call that 800 euros. Credit card interest when she carries a balance, say an extra 50 euros averaged across months. That leaves about 1,280 euros for savings, discretionary spending, and everything unexpected. It sounds okay on paper, but this is where the important question belongs. Before every major purchase, ask, how many months of my life am I trading for this? Not metaphorically, literally count the months of work it will take to pay for it, including interest, lost savings returns, and the opportunity cost of what else you could have done with that money. Let's test that with a real example. Elena is tempted to buy a new car that costs 24,000 euros. With her credit profile, she gets a 5-year loan at 6% APR. Monthly payment, about 464 euros. That's 144 euros more per month than her current car loan. Multiply 144 euros by 60 months, and you're at 8,640 euros in extra payments. Add the interest paid over the loan term, roughly another 1,500 to 2,000 euros depending on timing, and you're close to 10,500 euros. So that better car costs her an extra 10.5K over 5 years compared with keeping the cheaper car. But the real drain is less obvious: opportunity cost. If instead she invested that 144 euro per month into a low-cost index fund averaging a 5% annual return, after 5 years she'd have roughly 10,000 euros, almost the same as the extra money she paid for the car. Over 20 years, that same 144 euro monthly would grow to nearly 55,000 euros. In short, each month she chose the larger payment, she wasn't just spending 144 euros, she was exchanging future compound growth for present gratification. This is the hidden financial mistake: treating monthly payments as psychologically smaller than lump sums and ignoring the compounding impact of what those payments prevent you from doing. We normalize the idea that if I can afford the monthly payment, I can afford it. But affordability of a payment is not the same as affordability of opportunity cost. Why do people do this? 2 reasons. One is framing. Monthly payments feel like rent, a recurring, harmless number. The second is social calibration. In modern middle-class life, status is signaled through material upgrades. Colleagues get new cars after promotions, friends share travel photos, influencers make luxury feel normal. That social pressure rewires choices. You buy not just for utility, but to signal belonging. Put together, a small monthly difference becomes emotionally justified. Let's look at another familiar scene. Sam, a junior analyst in a U.S. city, takes home $4,200 after taxes. Rent is $1,300, student debt $250, groceries and transport $650, and he has a $300 monthly payment on a new phone and accessories financed over 2 years. He's offered a promotion that comes with a $500 raise. Most people would think the raise buys nicer things. Instead, imagine Sam pauses and asks the question, how many months of my life is this upgrade? He could take the $500 and increase his monthly standard of living, bigger apartment, more dinners out, or he could allocate that $500 to shaving down the phone loan and then redirect to investment. If he spends it on lifestyle, those habits will persist. If he invests it, compound interest amplifies that decision. Again, the math is simple. $500 per month invested at 5% over 20 years becomes about $200,000. That's real leverage from a seemingly small raise. The psychological trap here is insidious because it's not solely about self-control. It's about identity. People infer their worth from their visible consumption and adjust spending to match the new image. So when earnings rise, desires ratchet up faster than needs do, the classic lifestyle inflation problem. You don't just add a new expense, you upgrade many things: the coffee, the clothes, the weekend plans. Each upgrade undermines the potential compound gains of treating earnings increases as leverage instead of permission. If you ignore this question, months traded for a purchase, the long-term impact is straightforward. Higher recurring payments cut into savings rates, which reduces the time margin for emergencies, delays progress on big goals like home down payments or early retirement, and means the same income yields far less net wealth decades later. Two households with identical incomes can end up with vastly different net worths simply based on how many monthly payments they accumulated and what they forewent in investment returns. So what does a financially intelligent perspective look like? It looks like treating purchases as temporary sacrifices of time. Before you buy, compute the true monthly cost and translate it to months of work. Consider not only the payment, but interest, fees, maintenance, and lost investment growth. Ask, will this purchase make life measurably better for years, or is it a transient status upgrade? If you think in months of work, luxuries become clearer choices, not unavoidable necessities. Let me be concrete. Instead of deciding on emotion, convert the price into work time. If your net monthly take-home is €3,000 and something costs €3,000 after taxes and fees, that is literally one full month of your labor. A €24,000 car at €3,000 net monthly is 8 months of work before interest and opportunity cost. When purchases translate into months of life, you begin to treat them with the gravity they deserve. This mindset doesn't demand austerity or asceticism. It asks clarity. Smart financial behavior isn't about denying yourself every pleasure. It's about aligning expenditures with priorities and recognizing that every euro or dollar spent on elevated payments is not neutral. It trades away time and future options. That perspective makes decisions less emotionally charged and more consistent with long-term aims. Before I close, picture Elena and Sam again. They ask the question, translate the cost into months of life, and delay or downsize purchases that don't meet the threshold of lasting value. They free up monthly cash, invest consistently, and watch compounding work in their favor. Not magic, just the arithmetic of time and money applied with honesty. No dramatic promises. Choosing this path likely won't make you rich overnight, but it quietly accelerates options, more freedom to change jobs, more buffer for emergencies, and a much clearer runway for big goals. That clarity is worth protecting. If this perspective changed how you'll think about your next major purchase, consider subscribing for more calm, math-forward thinking. Like the video if it helped, and I'll see you in the next one.